Welcome to another edition of Animated Times. I'm Andrew Caravella. On this episode, how to watch the entire Terminator movie series in chronological order. Let's go. Okay, so first off, are you someone like me who can't watch a movie series in the wrong order? Well, I completely get it. And that's why series like X-Men with a confusing timeline can be frustrating. But the Terminator timeline has taken things to a whole nother level. So with the latest installment in the franchise, Terminator Dark Fate, the studio has once again decided to hit the reset the timeline button and confuse the hell out of fans. In all of these Terminator movies, the events are different, the characters are different, and the timelines, they're different as well. But there is one thing that never changes. Humanity is doomed in all of them. And the robots still don't have any damn clothes on when they travel to the past. But fear not, people. We are here to make your life just a little bit easier and give you a chronological order for watching the Terminator series before you go see the latest one. You can thank us later, or just subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on that red button below the video. Alright, so the first movie to watch on the list is The Terminator, which was released in 1984. The whole of the Terminator timeline begins with the same two movies as their origin. So that's the good news. Now, in this movie, an artificial intelligence defense network, aka Skynet, which has turned against humankind because that's what happens when you spend too much time on TikTok, sends a killer robot that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger back in time to 1984, the year this movie was released in to kill Sarah Connor. So Sarah was supposed to give birth to John Connor, who would in the future go on to lead the human resistance against Skynet, making him a threat. But the human resistance forces also sends their own soldier, Kyle Reese, from the future, of course, to ensure Sarah is safe. After a lot of crazy fights with the Governator and some sweet lovemaking, Kyle manages to save Sarah by sacrificing himself. It then turns out Sarah is pregnant, and it's with Kyle's son, who she conveniently names, you guessed it, John. Now, thinking of a logical explanation here, you are going to be thinking for a long time. So here we go. Terminator number 2, Judgment Day. This is next in line for you to watch. The story takes place in 1995, and our human resistance leader, John Connor, is an annoying 10-year-old kid. The future Skynet has not given up and has sent a more advanced T-1000 to kill John. This time, a reprogrammed T-800 is sent back to protect John by the human resistance. The Judgment Day is said to be the 29th of August, 1997. Seeing the non-stop attempts by the Skynet to kill her son and the impending doom, Sarah decides that the only way out is to kill Miles Dyson, the person who will be responsible for the birth of Skynet. And later in the movie, very conveniently, Miles realizes his mistakes and joins Sarah to help her destroy all of the research that would lead to Skynet. The T-800 kills itself while destroying the T-1000, and Miles also dies, protecting everything from happening. Finally, everything is safe, or that's what they thought. You see, the timeline takes crazy turns after this. Let's divide them into timeline A, B, and C, and tackle them one at a time, shall we? Keep up, people. So, we will start with timeline A. We have two movies in this timeline, T3, Rise of the Machines, and Terminator Salvation. Now let's go with the first one, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. You see, in this movie, sadly for Sarah and John, all their efforts and sacrifices didn't prevent Judgment Day as they hoped. They had only managed to delay it. Fast forward to 2004, Sarah has died, and John is living in hiding and is scared of the future and what it has in store for him. TX, another new and better Terminator, is now sent to kill John by the Skynet from 2032. This time, the target also includes John's future wife, Kate Brewster, and some other high-ranking member of the human resistance. The human resistance once again sends Terminator, this time a better and improved version of T-800, still Arnie though, to protect them both. This T-101 also plays a very crucial role in John's future. What is it? Well, see for yourself. You see, as the movie proceeds, John and Kate try to reach Crystal Peak, where they think the Skynet system's core is located. But with the craziest plot twist, Crystal Peak turns out to be a nuclear shelter rather than Skynet's core. In the climax, Skynet fires the nuclear missiles from the peak, starting the Judgment Day. Wait, almost forgot. The bad Terminator is like totally killed by the T-101, and it also dies in the process, leaving John and Kate safe for now. Last on timeline A is Terminator Salvation. So let's cut to 2018. The Resistance has started fighting back. Our John Connor is leading the Resistance with his wife Kate. Attempts to stop the Skynet are at full swing, and they believe they have found a way to shut down the evil artificial intelligence. So they make a plan to launch an attack at the headquarters of Skynet. The Resistance has its own cyborg, Marcus, who played by Sam Worthington. But the clue that the Resistance got was revealed to be a trap by Skynet itself. In a twist, Marcus turns out to be a mole planted by Skynet Skynet to destroy the human resistance from the inside by tracking resistance leaders, destroying their command ship and killing John Connor. Luckily for the resistance, Marcus manages to resist Skynet's programming once again very conveniently. Marcus then helps John to fight T-800, the original Terminator, once again played by Arnie. God, I love that guy. But before he could destroy it, John gets stabbed, injuring his heart in the process. In the end, they manage to destroy the base, and the Marcus offers his heart to save John. Fortunately for us, this timeline ends here, so let's move on to Timeline B. Terminator Dark Fate. It's the only movie in this timeline. Forget what we discussed in Timeline A. We are taking off from the end of T2. So, Sarah Connor turns out to be successful in stopping the Skynet from being created. Hooray! Not so fast. There is one last twist. One of the several T-800s sent back by Skynet from the future kills John Connor. While Skynet is doomed, another evil artificial intelligence, Legion, appears. And in case you are actually following along, who the heck is making these anyways? I mean, okay, so the AI sends Rev 9, a super advanced Terminator from 2042 back to 2020 to kill our new protagonist, Danny Ramos. Like you guessed, becomes the new leader of resistances in the future. Human resistance, in their attempt to protect their leader, once again sent help from the future, but this time it is an augmented half-human, half-machine who goes by the name of Grace. Old Sarah Connor, with the help of the old T-800, who killed his son in this timeline, also helps Grace by protecting Danny. Why, you ask? Well, go see for yourself. Okay, so that's the end of Timeline B for now. Now let's move on to our final timeline, Timeline C, the craziest one of all. So, in this timeline, we have the Terminator Genisys. Now, this movie takes a completely different approach and goes way back to the beginning of the Terminator timeline. You can say it's an alternate version of the original Terminator movie. The Resistance is all geared up to send Kyle Reese to save Sarah from being killed by Skynet. When Kyle comes to 1984, he finds another T-800 that was sent back in time. I mean, way back when Sarah was a 9-year-old and has helped her prepare for the future fight since then. This Terminator, which Sarah now refers to as Pops, has developed an unprecedented level of emotional development to the extent that it keeps Sarah's drawings and photographs with him. So let's ignore the question of how it's even possible and proceed further. Sarah, with her Pops, has managed to build a time machine hoping to stop Judgment Day in 1997, but Kyle asked them to go to 2017 because he is convinced that the future has changed because of the warning he received in his childhood vision he saw when, he was traveling back in time. Crazy, right? I know. Our villain Skynet is now known as the operating system Genisys and is about to go live. So Sarah, Pops, and Kyle set out to destroy it. In yet another plot twist, John Connor, who now the T-3000 fights against them, but Pops sacrifices himself to kill the bad Terminator and Genisys. But rather than dying, he ends up becoming a blend of T-800 and the shape-shifting T-1000. Cool, huh? So although in the end credit they do show that the Genisys might have survived the attack, but this timeline was dropped by the studio as they once again stomped on their reset the timeline button after the Terminator Genisys bombed very hard in the box office and was nominated as the worst film of the year by the Golden Schmoes Award. Never knew that was a thing. And that pretty much wraps up the movie timeline. But I know what you're thinking. What about the TV show? Now don't worry, we've got that covered for you as well. How does Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the spin-off show that aired in 2007 and 2008, get along with this timeline? Well, the answer is it doesn't really affect the Terminator movie universe at all. You see, the show only lasted for 2 seasons and was canceled by Fox in 2008. Just like in the movies, Sarah only managed to delay the Judgment Day, which here was on April 19, 2011. Now, in the TV series, the Terminator goes by the name of Cameron, who travels to 2007. And with Sarah and John Connor, he stops Judgment Day from happening. And that's that. We really hope this quick rundown gave you enough information to go watch the latest Terminator movie without going on a movie marathon, saving you some of that sweet time, or got you interested in watching all the Terminator movies. Whatever the case is, you can let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button just below the video. Go on, it's okay, do it. It's free. And as always, thanks for watching.